Morning, Samara. How are you? Just interesting coffee. Okay, that's great. I'm actually freezing in here, and I did turn on the air conditioner in the heat mode, warm mode, but it's not like I don't see the difference. Let's see, I'm freezing. Hey, Jam. Hey, Marushka. I know because I wanted to be like a nice cat person and I left the heater for my cats. But I should have brought it for myself. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Akira. Yeah, the cats are having the heater. They are the owners of the heater. They are the owners. Definitely. I forgot to paint my nails again. But actually, they're okay like this. How are you guys? No, I did dye it. I did dye the gray hairs that I had the other day. Then remember that I had, because I do have a lot of gray hair. Um, and it's not because I'm almost 40. I've been having, actually not so much, but I've been having gray days, gray hair, uh, ever since I turned like 27, 26. But yes, I did color it a bit, but I do have to go to the hairdresser to have my highlights, like, but I don't know, like, actually, like, it's really expensive, like, the hairdresser, like, because I went the other day and it's like, um, how much is it in, yeah, it would be like, I don't want to say $80, but the half of it. And my hair is not that long. Usually they charge me more because because of the length of your hair, but in my case, since I have it short, but it's growing again, so I do have a lot of hair, but it does fall a lot. I do lose a lot of hair. It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I try to make the conversion, but it actually doesn't make any sense because our pesos, our coins, is very like is very like um, so yeah, what is it, guys? But yeah, in dollars it's like, wait a second. Sorry, guys. I had to write something down for my dad. Sorry. Sorry because of the silence, because I had to write something down for him. That's why I wasn't talking. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I didn't say anything. Um, I was like in silence because like I was trying to remember that what he had I had to write down for him. Sorry, guys. Because I was like, if I say it in English, like, I was thinking in Spanish. Sorry, guys. I'm doing like a list of the things that we have to buy because my house needs a lot of like, hey Hope, a lot of like arrangements. So yeah, sorry. Yes, Akira, yes, from one peso to another. Yeah, it's like, for us, for example, a US dollars is like 400 pesos. But even though the 400, no, 400? Yeah, 400. But those 400 actually it is like it sounds like a large amount, but it doesn't, like, I don't know, with 400 pesos maybe you can buy like a bag of cookies or something, but it's not that much of money. So like if I had to translate like a haircut, it was like, yeah, it would be like $40, I believe. Yeah, if I'm not exaggerating, it would be like $40. Like to dye my roots only. To dye my roots only. Nothing more, nothing like, oh, getting a hair treatment or, it's. Sorry, guys, that I went silent. It's just that I had it in the tip of my mind, and I was like, what was it? Sorry, it's hard to go from Spanish to English. In Prague is $200. Yeah, but actually for us, for it to be 400 pesos, it's a lot. It's like probably we never had it. We never had that amount of pesos being the value of dollar. Never. So this definitely is because of the inflation. It's because of a lot of things that are not okay. So yeah. For us right now, it's like 17 pesos after many years of being around 22. And yeah, it's like a bag of cookies too. Yeah. Dyeing roots is a lot more in the US, especially Grace to do more often. Yeah, $1 in Latin America is a general of a bag of cookies. Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Yes. Like, or I don't know, it's, for example, the other day what did I buy? Yeah, I bought a bag of cookies, and then I had to buy, here we eat this, we call it dulce de leche, that is it's like jam, it's a sort of like peanut butter, but for us it's different, it's sweet, it's for you to put on the toast, Um, um, but yes, it was around like 500, and it's just it's a tiny container like this. So dyeing roots is a lot more in the U.S., especially Grace to do more often. Yeah. So how much is it over there, Hope? Because yeah, in my case it was like yes, the dyeing of roots, and honestly, like I have it so like it's very uncomfortable where it like I have the gray hairs. Actually, you guys can notice it because I usually have it over here, and I do have it also here, And then down here, my hairdresser says that I have it over here also. And like when she parts my hair, she can see it over here also. So yeah, I know there's people that they usually the gray hair, it concentrates here. But in my case, it's like, it's here. So, usually that I'm someone, I have a large forehead, guys, in case you haven't noticed, I believe you have noticed, I do have a large forehead. But I usually like to, to tie my hair up, or I like to get it out of my face. I like to tie my hair a bit to keep it out of my face. And it is, that's when I expose it the most. That's why I expose it. Like it's exposed the most. The USA is more expensive, but we earn a lot less, so we are doing really bad. Yeah, for a small apartment, it's almost 2K a month or more, not including everything else. 2K. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. At school in New Mexico, about 85, and double in California. Oh, so when I said 80, I was not exaggerating then. When I said 18, I wasn't exaggerating then. Yeah, Mexico is facing a horrible housing crisis as well. Yeah, I do own, like, I do own my house, but uh, like I was mentioning the other day, you owning a house is not like, oh, you live better. No, there's a lot of things to arrange. There's a lot of things that get broken, that get damaged, and for you to hire someone is also very expensive. To buy the things is expensive. Every time you think like, oh, okay, maybe this month I will be able to save money. No, something breaks around the house, or you know and also one thing that is very like is very tiring, at least for me, is that I own my house, but I live very far away of the capital of Buenos Aires. I mean, I live in Buenos Aires, that is the capital of Argentina, but I don't live in the, like, in the capital area, where there's the airport and there's all the you have all the different corporations, so when you have to the university, so in my case, if I want to go to the main place of the city, I have traveled like 4 hours, for example. So if I want to get a job, like a better job, like around where I live, there's not jobs. I have to go to, to the capital. Um, mm. Over there, so many people have become homeless, badly. My rent at school, including all utilities, Wi-Fi, is about 700. Oh, it's funny. Cable package, dryer, magnet, shuffle to school. Oh, I imagine the color cost at least twice in Central Buenos Aires. Yeah, also. Yeah, the color. Yeah, it costs a lot more than actually, because the other day I was watching a TikTok about it. There was someone that was complaining about that they went to this place in the capital, and they are like, oh, I went to get, like, she went to get like a haircut, but not a haircut. When you want to cut your your ends because they're dry and you want to cut it. And she was like, oh, they charge her, like, I believe, like, yeah, like 40, 40 uh, 40,000 pesos, that it would be like, yeah, around 4,000 US dollars. Um, Hola, Miss Lluvia. The capital of Mexico is insufferable. Too much to explain, but it's collapsing. It's really bad. It's drowning too? Oh my. Really? Oh my God. I have a friend, an army friend. She's from Mexico as well. Mm. There are some moments where, we are having like chats with her, and then some days I realized that there's like a lot of earthquakes or something like that, because sometimes she tells me that, there was something happening with the weather. Here is very cold. It's very cold, guys. So if you can enjoy your summer, please enjoy it, because I know I hate when it gets really hot. The weather, I hate it. It makes me feel sick. But when it's very cold, you somehow miss it a bit. Yeah, earthquakes are crazy. Oh, a lot of people are trying to move to Mexico too, because no one can't afford the US anymore. Yeah. And probably, it's not even like, you know, that's why a lot of people like ambition going to the US. There's like, I would go for vacation and just to meet the place and to visit, probably, to meet some like famous places, but I wouldn't go to live there, because we are a different culture. We are like used to other things. And And honestly, here in my country, we are very like advanced when it comes to social matters, like some laws, and we are very like inclusive in that sense, of people of different like cultures coming to our country. We have a lot of diversity when it comes to friends. So, I don't want to lose that. Like, actually, you never realize how much you appreciate your country until you are somewhere else, and I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to go to another country to be like, oh, yeah, and Argentina was better, or I was happier. I don't know. But I guess that yeah, it's all about money, actually, and job opportunities. Yeah. I think New York is sinking too. Yes, the American dream is not really what people think. I like earthquakes because I'm from California and it's like surfing on energy. Oh my. Gentrification here is really bad, but I think I try not to think about it, because I really get mad, although I can ignore it because it's so present. They are getting rid of us in our own land. Yeah. Yeah. Also, is tough being a female. Also, in that sense, the violence against females, we have it here too. The murders, the crimes against females. It happens here as well. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if there's a place in the world where we are like, oh, I can go there and be safe. I don't know. I think that we just have to, like, somehow protect each other. Since we know about our vulnerabilities, we should support each other, because it's tough being a female. It's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of insecurity. Insecurity on the streets. I mean, like, and people are not okay. So a native, more like American nightmare. Every country is terrible till you are there over a year and you get used to their way of being. You spend basically at least 8 months angry. And I feel people will go in crazy breaking into stores like the stuff you see in movies. Yeah. I always felt more sexism and misogyny than racism. Yeah. 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 That's the thing. I usually do notice that when it comes to, for example, now that we talk about K-pop and we follow idols, I think that I notice they have like this. I don't know. I would say like they have this. They adore. They love France and everything that comes from France. Like, and they want to be there and they want to have that picture on the Eiffel Tower. And I'm like, really? Like, I understand because of the fashion and the, the things, but I'm not interested in that. I don't see the appeal in it, like, honestly. Like, but they seem to be like very much like focused on like even like introducing words in French, and they have a sort of fixation with France. Like, like I don't see that they have it with other European countries. They have it with France particularly. At this point, it sounds like broken record when they say here at concert how much they love France. It does not. Yeah, it's like, like I get it. Like I guess for them, because a lot of the idols are these ambassadors of these brands, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, you love it there. You want to go back. You want to be there. Like, in my case, I'm like, really? Like, don't you have another part of the world that you would like to explore? I don't know. But, maybe it's because they do consume a lot of high fashion, like, or high, like, luxury brands. I noticed that they are huge consumers of luxury brands. They have it all. I believe that probably they are one of the main consumers of, like, probably we over here, we are not, like, same, like, I always find other places and cultures way more interesting. Like, it's their taste, but I just can't see it. No, I cannot see it. Like, every time and it's like the same picture all over again, like and they like introduce these French words, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, like, but you also have Spanish, you have Italian, you have, I don't know, German, like, but I guess that their main target is France. I don't know. It's especially about brands and luxury and beautiful buildings. Yeah, Korea is #1 consumer of fashion brands, especially French. Well, yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I noticed. And also it seems like the Korean version is very much similar to the French style. Honestly, like I mean, I don't see the extravagance of it or the interesting part, because here in Argentina, especially in Buenos Aires, is very much influence of European. The streets are very similar, like in the capital, not not in the barrio, like what we say in the regular neighborhoods, like the barrio is like regular houses. But in the capital, where you go, like in the main places, it's very European style. It's very French style. Actually, a lot of people that come from Europe, they are like, oh, this looks like home. You know, because they recreated a lot of the European streets in style. Um, so, because we have a lot of population that came from Europe to escape the war. So, yeah, we're very much influenced, but more so, more of Italian and probably Spanish people, and not so much of, uh, you know, yeah, French a bit. French a bit. And about Asian people, I think we have a lot of Japanese people over here, like living here. But Korean, I'm starting to see a lot of influencers suddenly appearing on internet, but I didn't know we had so many Korean population. Like, they used to be a very recluded community. Like, they wouldn't talk to other people that is not of their community or of their, they have their neighborhood that they don't interact with others. They don't interact with Argentinian people. They keep to themselves. But now that Korean culture is so westernized and is so popular, there's a lot of Korean people coming out, like, and you know, and being popular on social media. But honestly, if I have to be honest, if I think about some Asian people that I met in my life, probably I would say like either a Chinese person or a Japanese person, but a Korean, never. It's like us who haven't it that easy would go to a different place every time, but them who can actually do it, they're just interested on the same every time. Yeah, I see a lot of your telenovelas and documentaries. Oh, really? Mexico is a paradise for foreigners. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, they love to go to Mexico. Yeah. It's really funny because I believe that there's some foreigners that definitely they think that whole Latin America is Mexico. You know, that the way the Mexico culture is everyone's, every Latin person, like every Mexican stereotype is like, uh, is the rest of the Latin American countries. We are all like this. We all eat tacos, like we, and actually, no, no, I never had a taco in my life, honestly. Like, I know about it, I know there's a tons of restaurants, but I don't like it. Like, honestly, like, I mean, I don't like the way it's done here. Maybe if I go to visit Mexico, I would like to try the original one. You know, with French people actually don't buy those luxury brands. It's like, yeah, that's, it's like 1-2% of our wardrobe. Yeah. Yeah, Marushka, I remember that. I remember that, Marushka, because I had a French professor when I was young. She did gave us this class that it was about manners and etiquettes. And she would always have this very, like, she would always talk to us about the clothing, you know, and she would be like, you know, it's not about brands. Actually, people that are supposed to have good taste, they do not wear clothes that just are like these logos, these huge colors, you know. They remain very neutral, and also the colors, you know. And if they want to like add something, they would probably add an accessory. But she would always tell us this, that it's not about the brand of the clothing, it's more about the quality. So if you want to spend money, if you really want to spend and make a good purchase, just buy basic clothing in a sense of colors and coordination so you can combine them better. But just make sure they are good quality. And honestly, since I had worked for a lot of retail brands, I definitely can tell the difference between fabrics. So I know that in fast fashion, yeah, the colors, the designs is all very like, wow, it's so cool. But then eventually, like it doesn't last. You know, it breaks, it stings. You know, it's awful. And German. Oh yeah, we do have a German. You know, the other day, Hope, I was watching that. Actually, we found out here. Actually, they were talking on the radio here in Argentina about this guy that is a huge. It is for me. It's not famous. He's not that famous, but for them, it's like that. He's a famous podcaster. I don't remember his name. I know he's a bald guy, but I don't remember his name exactly. I remember seeing his face on TikTok, but I don't remember his name. That he was like saying that here in Argentina we have a lot of like Nazis in here, and that that Argentina was like the place that where the Nazis used to go run to after the war. And I don't know about that, but honestly, what I can tell you is that yes, there's colonies of German people, like in different provinces of our country. But we also have other communities. We have Italian communities. We have like French, and we also have like um, indigenous people. So yeah, Argentina basically was like, since it was like the farmer of the world back then, a lot of people came to live in Argentina to escape from the world, because we are literally at the end of the world. Um, Honestly, I can say that I know about German culture. I actually went to a German school, even though I'm not German, but my grandma from my father's side, she was her parents and family were German and Russian. Um, so she was one of the ones that insisted my dad that I should go to a German school. Um, and everyone were it was very funny because everyone in those classes were white and blonde and blue-eyed people, like students, like pupils, but I was one of the few that was a brunette. But I also have, from my mother's side, I have her family, that one of her like grandparents was Japanese. So I have like a lot of mix of races, so I don't know. But yes, there's a lot of like German colonies in here. Actually, I always believed that the person that used to teach us German, she wasn't a teacher. She was just someone from the colonies. That she didn't know how to speak properly Spanish, but they put her to teach us German. And she wasn't very, I don't think she was fond of children. I think she really hated us. But yeah, I guess that, and I know that the people that built that school that I went to, they were from a religious colony. They were evangelic or Baptist. So yeah, but I don't know where they come from. Like, I didn't know their story. I remember they used to tell us, but we weren't that interested. If a taco comes from a restaurant, it's bad. It has to be from the street. Outside of the metro is the most questionable conditions to be the best. Yeah, usually, yeah. Mm. We spent on brands who are timeless and high quality and about best craftsmanship. Yes. Yeah, I know she used to show us that, for example, she would show us her coat, that she was like, okay, this was, I inherited this from my mother or my aunt, and it was in perfect condition. And probably, the way it was elaborated, you never seen a coat like that with all those like, with that perfection. Also, that's something that she would always tell us, that there's nothing more like beautiful that something that is made for you, like is handmade. So yeah, it does look, when it's customized to you and your shape, and yeah. Yeah. So yeah, working with clothing and different gears, I was able to notice when the cotton is right, when it's good quality, and when it's just not good, not. My mom went to Buenos Aires these days and told me it's a pretty. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. But where? I know you are in Argentina, Mariana. Where are you staying? Are you staying in Buenos Aires? I think you said that you were. But yes, Buenos Aires is huge. Like, there's a lot of parts of Buenos Aires. Oh, you're in Mendoza. Oh, that's another province. Oh, Mendoza is beautiful. Mendoza is beautiful. Like, I used to go on vacation. Not so, like, I often change. Like, I go to Cordoba, then I go to Mendoza. In Mendoza, there's a lot of mountains. And Mendoza is very expensive to live. But it's a beautiful province. Beautiful. I love it. I love Mendoza. I mean, we do have beautiful, beautiful provinces. That's why, I'm in Buenos Aires, but I think that if there was more job opportunities, in other provinces, I wouldn't be here. Honestly, people that come to Buenos Aires, they come because of university and because of job opportunities. That's the reality. They don't like it, it's I don't know if it's the same, But you know these people that usually you see it in the American movies, that you have this person from the countryside and that they have a dream, I don't know, to become an entertainer or a celebrity, and they dream about moving to New York or moving to LA. Well, that's the same over here. That's the same sort of vision that we have over here. That if you are from other provinces, you have to move to Buenos Aires to sort of get more opportunities, either job opportunities or opportunities to make it like to have a better life. But honestly, like I had gone to different provinces and I would die to live in there because the places are so beautiful. The air is so fresh. Buenos Aires is slowly turning into a cement city, full of sky, tall buildings and full of a lot of buildings, a lot of houses, a lot of apartments, you know, and it's becoming so cold, you know, and I think that there's not much tree, you know, green side. There's not much nature. We are all in buildings. We are all in these houses of cement, you know, so yeah, a lot of mountains. Also, the weather is colder. Yes, it is. That's like Hannah Montana movie. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like I don't know because I don't live in the U.S. But I think that here in Argentina, that's the because usually when you arrive here, like you know, the most popular city, like the center of the country, is Buenos Aires. Like the capital of Argentina is Buenos Aires. So you have to land here, and then you can see that there's another places. But honestly, we have the best like nature places, beautiful places, like that's why, honestly, that's why other colonies, like other races, came to somehow invade us, because we have the diversity of different kinds of, you know, nature and animals, and the air. It's beautiful, and you know, and so. You know, the wine of Mendoza is so fine. Yeah. That's also, you know, when people like praise, like, you know, like French wine, I'm like, yeah, because you didn't try our wine. We have very good wine, very good wine. But yeah, Mendoza is the opposite here. Are a lot of trees in the street. Yeah, very green. Yeah. Yeah. But you know, sometimes people that we grew up here, we usually don't get to visit the whole different provinces that we have. We usually don't. Like, you know, it's all about Buenos Aires. Then eventually, when we get older and we become wiser, you know, we are a bit tired of the city. We're like, oh, maybe I should move to, you know, to the countryside. A lot of foreigners come here for the wine. Yeah. Here, the capital wasn't until now gentrification days, never the target for foreigners. It was always beach cities. Mexico City, as every capital, means opportunities, but since it's very dangerous, I feel like it's not as wished as in other countries. Yeah, also we have like, that's something that I often, when I see like Asian people, you know, that they are always recording everything with their phones. And I'm like, you know, if you were to come to my country, yeah, we have very beautiful, you know, sighting, and you can like travel all you want. But one advice that I will give you is put your phone away. Like, keep it on the back, because it's not a safe place. People get their phones stolen every day. So in the public transportation, or even when you're walking on the streets, So I don't have a luxury phone, but I never except if I have to text someone, or if I have to, I don't know, call an Uber or something like that, I use it, but I usually keep it on my pocket, because it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Not where you are, Mariana. In the provinces, not. Not in the provinces, because people of the provinces are very educated, are very humble, and are very respectful of other people's possession. But in Buenos Aires, yes, there's a lot of robbery. There's a lot of robbers. Yes, there's a lot of that, because everyone gathers around the city, to look for opportunities. So there's a lot of homeless people, a lot of wanderers here and there. So you have to be careful. I heard that Asians have 3-4 days to visit whole Europe. That's why they film everything to rewatch at home. Ah, okay. I heard that Asians have capitals are wild. Yeah, definitely. Capitals are wild. I'm if I will have to give a foreigner or someone that wants to come here an advice, is please protect your phones or your cameras. Protect them. If you are inside a building, if you are at a certain place, and you want to use it, of course, but while you're walking on the streets, please don't. Please don't. And also because, I understand, because everyone, even when I go to the capital, sometimes because there's a lot of new buildings, a lot of, very interesting and very colorful things happening in the city, and you get distracted, and you're like, oh, I'm going to film this, or I want to have a picture taken here. So yeah. I kind of feel sad for them, seeing them running around Paris with cameras filming everything and not living the moment. We have 80 million visitors in Paris every year, and Asians are a special kind of tourists. Yeah, remember when, especially when, in my experience, we had this sort of a stereotype of, we are like, oh, there's an Asian person, because there will always be this family with all these cameras. Even when camera gear wasn't that like now everyone uses it. When you had to have the camera, there was no cell phone, no, you had to have your particular camera. And usually, Asian people used to have a more advanced equipment, I guess. So you would definitely see them far away, because they notice their presence, because they would always be taking pictures. And sometimes I often wonder about that, about this urgency that they have of taking pictures and filming. And it's maybe you need to put down the camera and actually socialize more, talk to the people, that's why whenever I had to when I used to work at retails or at certain places, especially shopping malls, and I had to, for me to create a connection with Asian people to sell them something that they were looking for, it was a whole struggle, because they usually come in groups, and they are usually always on their phone. So, I try to, be there, being available, how can I help you? Looking at them in the eye, what do you want? Even though maybe they don't understand what I'm saying, or they were a bit there was a difference in cultural differences. I was willing, I was waiting, how can I help you? But they're always with other people. They always talk about themselves, and it's like it seems like they ignore you, and they choose. Yeah, they want assistance, but at the same time, they don't want assistance. They want to figure it out themselves. So it's a bit weird to sell them things. Like because that's why when there's fans that probably are like, oh, when idols go to the supermarket to buy groceries, and everyone is like, oh, I wish I would run into them, and actually I think that if you would run into them, like it would be very hard to actually talk to them, because even the Asian people that are not famous, they usually they walk with other people, they talk among themselves, and it's not that you're going to start like a spontaneous, interaction with them. It has to be in a very like intimate situation where for example, I don't know, I'm selling them like this very unique item that they need me to assess them because they cannot get it otherwise. For example, I don't know, a very expensive bag, for example, and they have to talk to me so I can open it and show it and charge it and then put it away, But otherwise, they just ignore you. They just ignore you. Like that's actually my experience. There are some people that are very nice, yeah, but usually those are the people that know Spanish and they had been like here for a while. And from my experience, it had always been awkward. And every time we see an Asian person as sales persons, we get very anxious. In my case, since I know how to speak English a bit, I try to communicate with them, but they are always on their phone. It seems like I had this person that I had to, he was looking for a specific skincare brand. We had it, but he was looking for a specific product. And instead of asking me if I had it, he would be like Googling on his phone. And I would be like looking at his phone, like to sort of get like a vision of what he was looking for. So, and I would talk to him and I would show it and I would look at him and I would wait for him to look at me and he wouldn't look at me in the eye. So it was so awkward. Thank God, like he was able to and we were also wearing masks because it was COVID. So it was a very awkward situation. But at the end, when he was eventually like getting the products, and I would be able to like, okay, yes, do you want this? Like, do you want to see something else? He started to relax a bit, and he was like starting to look around and like this thing that we mentioned, Marushka, this thing about them being present, like stop Googling. I'm here to assist you. Like, in flesh, like I'm here to help you. I'm real. Stop Googling. Like you have the products here. Be in the moment. Like stop using the phone. Like ask me. And even if we don't, in this case, this is very, very, I guess, Latin American, because I don't know if other countries of Latin America does it, but here in Argentina we are very effusive with the uses of our hands. So if we don't speak the same language, but you can point at some direction or you can point to me at something, we are going to understand each other. Like I'm going to make you understand me. Even if I have to make weird sounds for you to understand me, but I'm going to, using hand signs, something. I'm going to do something, but we are going to like connect somehow. But yeah, they have to get off their phone a bit, yeah, and socialize a bit, Maybe they're shy, I know they're shy, and in this case I had the opportunity because this guy was alone. But if he came with his family or friends, oh my, no. I wouldn't have been able to sell him anything, no. Right, I never had Asian friend here, but Asian, African, Arab, and so on. Yeah, Asians are always between them. Yeah. Same. I can't feel things through videos. I value experience way more, even with friends. I'm like, put the phone down and eat. Stop taking pictures of the phone. Are you going to print them? Yeah. Yeah. But you know, it's funny because I remember that back then, the use of cameras and this taking pictures and things, it used to be a very Asian thing to do, and now slowly we are all like this. Like that sort of way of behavior, it's like reproducing in all areas of the world because we are all obsessed with, oh, I have to blog this, oh, I have to take a picture of this, oh, I have to like do a reel of this, and I have to do a TikTok of this, and I think that maybe when I was younger, for example, in the 90s, we had this stereotype of the Asian tourist with the huge cameras. But now we are the Asian tourist as well. Because we are all obsessed with, oh, I'm going to buy a camera, I'm going to become a professional photographer, and I'm going to do a blog of my life, and random situations, but always the camera, always the camera. I'm talking to you guys. We're talking about tarot and but also I'm on YouTube. So when back then in the 90s, it used to be like, oh yeah, they're always with the phone or the camera. They were the different, but now we're doing it too. So it's interesting. It's interesting how we also are involved in this. So many photos you will never print or see again. Oh yes, Corona's made us addicted to our phones. Yes, completely. I had the total opposite experience with Americans. They are moving here. They are moving here, and they are so used to get everything done for them. And Mexicans being their workers, it is visible how it goes beyond helping. I'm daughter of photographer, and I take one selfie per year. Yeah. That's great also, Mariuszka. That's great also, of breaking the mold. I don't know. Sometimes that I'm a cat owner. Like I have cats, and I love cat videos. But sometimes I wonder, what they make the cats go through, or animals in general, just to get them, their TikTok account or their TikTok Instagram. Because actually, like, for example, I see people that they dress their cats, they dress their dogs, and I don't know, my cats are not used to that, or they just, take them for a walk with a leash. A cat on a leash? Or they're like, oh yes, we're going to travel on the train with the cat. The cat is a very, like, I'm sure they can get used to, because yeah, like, I mean, I would prefer for a cat to have an owner. And okay, if you're going to travel around the world, I get it. As long as you take care of them, like, I guess they can get used to this. But the cats are very nervous creature, so if you take them around, like, oh, we're going to get on the train, we're going to get on a cab, I'm going to get you on a boat, it's like you are like exposing them to a lot of adrenaline. Cats are very routinary people. Not people, sorry. Yeah, they are people. But they are very routinary animals. So I don't know the level of the heart rate of that animal every time, you put them into a new environment. I feel a bit anxious when that happens. Because they get very, they get very like startled. Yes, have you seen the cat named Lemon who plays the piano? Oh no, I cannot see those. I cannot. Oh yeah, it did come out on my TikTok. Yes, but I do not like. No, Like sometimes I wonder, I'm like, you know, how did you get them to do that? You know, there are certain things that a cat or a dog wouldn't do, just wake up one day and just do it. There's some training in there. So what are you doing to the animal? You know, like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I just get so defensive. Most cats and dogs get anxious at trouble, exactly. Yeah. So when I see that, I'm like, really? But, you know, that's why sometimes because I'm a cat person and seeing cat videos makes me happy, I get some of these videos, and sometimes I do have to block a few because it's like, yeah, I enjoy cat videos, but I enjoy, for example, if there's a cat on YouTube, an orange cat that I believe is called Walter the cat, and and the owner, she talks to him and she zooms in on him and she creates a sort of conversation, you know. But the cat is at his house. He's not doing something. She records him being him, and she creates a sort of narrative, you know, an imagination about, okay, what he must be saying right now, you know, and she created a sort of persona around the cat. But the cat is just sitting there and she's just zooming in at his reactions, or him just running around, or him just taking a nap, you know. But the cat is at their house, you know. He's not doing something like, you know, outstanding to be recorded. Um, how do you get a cat even obey you? Exactly, yeah. Now playing the piano when you request it. Oh, yeah. Cats know their name and still decide to ignore you. How do you get him? How do you make him do that? Yeah. Honestly, like, I cannot even put the collar on one of my cats. I cannot imagine to dress them or to put something on their head. Like, I cannot imagine how they do that. I like seeing animals doing cute things, but I'm glad the cucumber challenge for cats is over. Oh, yes. Remember the cucumber? Oh, my God. People are just, I don't know. But that's the internet and bored people. Okay, guys, I'm going to start with the readings because I have been in here for an hour talking about just things, and I'm going to be pulling cards. If you have recommendations, at least 10 refused to make his cats dance at his concert next time. Oh, no. Yeah, I love voiceovers. You know, the other day I did share something with you. The voiceovers, I love it because when it's very well done, it's so funny. But you know that those are things that are already recorded, and the voiceover is what makes it fun. You know, it's not a forced situation. It's more about the actor or the person that does the voiceover to create the narrative, and it's funny, and to make it funny. But yeah. Have you done Nayeon recently? No, but I done twice. Like, I done the group. Because actually the group is doing very well. So, I know there's some people that worry about the members, but I don't know. Every time I pull cards for them, they're just okay. There's none. Did something interesting happen in K-pop this week? Did not see EXO anything apart EXO song. I haven't. Oh, EXO song is beautiful. Yeah. No, it was Ateez comeback. Um, but no, there wasn't like nothing like serious or something like that. No, I'm going to start with pulling cards for Pentagon because Mafi asked on Discord about Pentagon. So I'm going to start pulling cards for them, and then I have for Ateez, Yeosang, and Hongjoong, the leader. I'm going to do like a dynamic reading for them to see how they view each other. Also, a cat uses whiskers and fur to negotiate their surroundings, and clothing can interfere with it. Oh. Oh. I have no idea why is it so cold in here. I swear. Your reading on Jeonjung was very accurate. She had physical pain ever since their debut till today. She's been wearing tape on her neck in the Yeosang, so physical problems have always been there. Really? Misamo is already... Yeah, poor Jung, like, you know, because in the reading it was very much like present, like it wasn't like, you know, about the pain and the agony, not so much being something that she like always going to happen in the future. It's something that is always with her, you know, and that she has to stop a bit and also like you know, keep working on it because it's not entirely healed, you know, and also like the sequels and the consequences of chronic pain, you know. She has to, you know, always been working on that so it doesn't affect the way she experiences life, you know, and also like somehow to try to balance, you know, okay, like how am I feeling today, you know, is it better, like am I feeling better, how am I feeling today, is my condition better or is it worse, you know, and sort of trying to work with herself, you know. It's a sort of exercise that she has to do instead of pretending like, okay, yeah, there's nothing wrong, like I'm feeling great, you know, because she's also very much like, just like all the Twice members are very like determined people, so they sometimes forget about themselves. Yeah, the cats have the heater. Yes, they do. But I did turn on the AC from the in the mode of warm and it's supposed to be heating the environment, but I don't get it. I don't get the heat from here. Like it's really cold. Okay, I'm going to pull cards for Pentagon. Okay, they start the reading with the Nine of Cups, the Star, Princess of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, and Two of Swords. Then from the Oracle, they got the card of Mars in Taurus, Defense. So I know that Mafi was a bit worried because it had been a while since they were active or they had some activities, I don't know. But honestly, like I see a lot of fulfillment in this group. Probably did they have like individual activities? Hey Parvati, because it seems like they are very much satisfied with themselves. Like they got very prosperous cards, like very stable. Um, a lot of like wish come true, and also feeling like a star, feeling very like popular. So I don't know. Maybe it has to do with some members doing something on their own and actually this being very successful. But I don't see like struggles. Like the only card that indicates that they have to make a decision is this Two of Swords at the end. But I think that if they do it, yeah, if they do make a decision, like, or if they are like somehow like indecisive about like, okay, will we like renew the contract or not? I think that probably it has to do with things that no longer feel like the same. Because I tried to clarify it and I got the Six of Cups. So there's this sense of like nostalgia, about like, oh yeah, back then, things are not like in the past, things have changed. But honestly, the cards that the group got are very, very positive, very fulfilling. Like I have this sense of like, wow, like I feel so passionate about, I feel so proud of everything that we had accomplished. Also, I feel like a star. So I wonder what they had been up to, the members, because since there's a lot of members, maybe like the experience is very different for some of them. But I sense a lot of prosperity, and also like probably the things, the activities that they were set up to do, it was a very satisfactory like event. I don't know. I think that they have like, when it comes to the group, their experience is very positive. Like they are very proud of themselves. Even they are very comfortable in the company. I don't see like issues or problems. I only see, yes, that they do have to make a decision probably about the contract, if they are going to extend the contract or not. But in this sense, yes, there could be like, okay, what do we do? Like a bit like divided in that sense. But yeah, they just have to reflect about how. I think that it's not about like, okay, we do not have enough opportunities, like we do not have this, because I don't see lacking of things. I see them very much like taking every opportunity and also feeling very passionate about themselves and their own individual growth, and probably growth as, I mean, the growth, because I have a Princess of Wands here, so definitely it's like a Page of Wands. I think that probably the identity of the group or the trajectory of the group is not like they are the popular level of, for example, if I got the card of a king or a queen. Definitely they see themselves as a Princess of Wands, so always people that they gave their all for the group, or they gave their best, like always showing initiative and passion to work towards a certain stability And I think that they have this sort of like tranquility and also this peace in mind of being like, yeah, when I had to work on this or when I had to be part of this, I was very good at this and I did what I had to do. Like I was consistent in my efforts. I put my talent, I put, like, honestly, like I don't see suffering here. I don't see them like regretting something also. But definitely, yes, with the the two of swords and the ten of pentacles, there's a sense of like probably they know that they have to make a decision about, okay, do we stay in what we know, in this sort of like company that we know, or what do we do with ourselves? Like, what do we do? But honestly, like, I don't know as a group, but maybe the guys individually, they had like moved a lot, they had done a lot. So there's a lot of pride here. And I don't know, did some of the members win some kind of award or some kind of recognition? Because they feel very like satisfied. And also with the star, there's this sense of like, yeah, I feel like, I was doing what I was meant to be doing, what I was born to be doing. So I made my dreams, my projects, my aspirations come true. So I don't regret anything. But I don't know about the fans. I don't know. Honestly, here when I see the Mars in Taurus defense card, I think that probably this also has to do with the fans. Probably the fans feel a bit defensive about the future of the group. They are like, you don't promote them well, you don't do this well, we haven't heard from them, so we are worried, And but I also see that for the group perspective is very different. Because also the card of defense, Mars in Taurus, is like, maybe for you feel like this, but we actually always had things available. Like, I think that if they get a bit on the defensive, I don't know if maybe some of you, if you are a fan of Pentagon, if you know if some of the members had complained or had made like some comments about them not being happy. But honestly, all the cards that I see here are very much satisfied and are very like, like they do not regret anything about being with this company or just being where they are right now. Because honestly, also, I didn't get cards that indicate that the members are resting. Actually, I see that there's a lot of things that probably they done in the past. So I don't know if maybe I see them like taking care of their things, of their career. I don't see them so passive. I don't get cards of passivity. So were they in a hiatus or something like that? Because I don't understand. The only thing and also I see that they see the company as a family. So I think that also with the defense, Mars in Taurus, remember that the energy of Taurus is also very much on the defense because they don't want things to change that fast. So that's why they stop, So I don't know if maybe this is a group that somehow people are pushing them to do more and they're like, we're fine like this. Like, yeah, we will get there, we will get back there, but not yet. Or not as fast as you guys want. We have our pace. We have our way of doing things. So don't rush us into doing things that we are not ready to do. Because I don't know if maybe there's some people think that maybe it's the responsibility of the company. I see them like, I don't see conflict with the company. I see that whatever they decided to do, they did it. They are very satisfied. But yeah, there's also, I think that here with the Six of Cups, there's also this level of nostalgia for the younger selves. They are different people now than when they started. So with the Six of Cups, it's like they have to revalue if this is something that they want still. You know, being in this company or being in this group. But I don't think that if they decide to separate, it's not because they don't get along or it's not because it's an issue of the company. I think that they are just like different people or they have different visions, but it's not because of a conflict. You know, I'm not seeing conflict in here. But also here, you know, with the card of defense, is like they also have this very resistant energy. It's like, you know, probably their career had always been very slow. You know, when we think about the Mars in Taurus energy, it's like, yeah, maybe we didn't grow at the pace of other groups or what the audience expect us to go. We didn't go that way. For us, it took longer. But they are defending this. Like they are not like, they're like, yeah, this had been a reality. Like there's a sense of them, I wouldn't say like give up, but they're probably very used to it. They don't have much activity as a group. They probably got used to it. So there's, since I have the energy of Taurus, there's this sense of like, you know, when someone, you get a bit on the defensive when someone talks bad about your family, but you are allowed to talk bad about your family. But you don't want other people to talk bad about your family. There's something about that, you know. There's like, yeah, I can complain sometimes about the company, but at the same time, they're my family, or I'm used to them, you know. Cube don't deserve Pentagon. There is there actually a company who deserves it? Yeah. Uh, I don't pull personal cards, no. Latin American moment. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear it, Akira? I was like, I hope they don't hear it, but yeah, you did. Especially because, you know, in here, the door that I have, it gives to the, you know, to the front of the house. I have a hole that goes all the way to the front side of the house. So it's like the sound is amplified, you know, it comes to me like this. But I was hoping that you would hear it. Yeah, see, I remain true to my roots. We have it here. We also have it here, you know, Latin American moment with it. And also in here, we have like a very long holiday because I believe that until Monday we have holidays because we have the Flag Day and another national day, I don't remember. And also, you know, tomorrow is Father's Day. He started low and it got louder. Do you want me guys to pull card for Cube to see how Cube is their perspective about this? So maybe we can like, because yeah, I was actually very like I have a curiosity. I don't know much about Pentagon, but I was like, oh, poor guys, like, you know, like maybe they want to change, but actually they got very positive cards. So I'm like, I don't know what they are doing. Maybe they are just, you know, doing very used to, you know, managing their careers by themselves. So they have no expectations of the company. I'm going to pull cards for Cube to see, you know, what's their plan. Yeah, definitely Cube. Definitely Cube is not. Yeah, Cube is another thing. They got they got the 10 of Wands, so a lot of heavy burden, and they know it. 3 of Wands. I mean, they do have a vision, but yeah, it's a bit. 7 of Swords. So yeah, very sneaky, and 9 of Wands. Yeah. And also they got the card of Mars and a Sun in Virgo, health. So yeah, probably they have to focus on their financial health, on what taking care of their resources, like what are you doing? Like it seems like, yes, their finances are a bit affected. They the finances, because we have the card of health, so definitely the finances are a bit like ill or sick. I mean, I think that definitely from Cube perspective, there's this sense of defensiveness. I think that they are overwhelmed with a lot of things that they cannot manage. With a lot of things that they had been carrying for so long, and still, even when they cannot take it anymore because it's too much projects or it's too much drama or it's too much of something, they still have the audacity of being like, oh, but what if we introduce this? Or I have an idea. Or yeah, maybe we can find a solution for this. And also with the 7 of Swords, there's a lot of, they lie to themselves. They lie to themselves and they lie to the artist, allegedly. This is for entertainment purposes only. I do not claim I know this company or this artist, because you know how the internet is. Don't sue me. But yeah, there's this sense with the 7 of Swords of a lot of escapism. They definitely like, I feel like they feel such a heavy on weight on themselves, like they got themselves into many. I think that probably they got into many. It's like they cannot handle their artists, or they cannot handle the pressure of the business. Like they have all these things pile up that they had been like piling up for so many years, and they haven't found a solution for anything. They haven't like worked on their past issues, and they keep thinking about bringing new issues, not issues, but probably thinking about, oh, maybe we should launch this new group, or we should do this with this, and like you haven't dealt with the ones of the past. So yeah. And also with the 9 of Wands, at the same time, there's this sense of defensiveness. They are a bit extreme in the way they work. It's like they are used to being in this sense of rush, that they're so used to working like this, with this high level of stress and this high level of exhaustion, and also a lot of pressure on their shoulders. It's like, for them, everything is extreme. For them, everything is a burden. Everything is, but they also hide behind these responsibilities. They are not facing the issue. They are not coming up with a solution. They just keep adding more pressure to themselves, because they have a lot of wands, a lot of cards of wands, and also cards of swords. So they are not dealing with what the, and also here with the card of health, they definitely are ill. as a company. They have a sort of illness, you know, they have a sort of like symptom in the way they handle themselves. But they are not taking care of this. And the card is like, yes, please, take care of this. Take care of this, because you are being contagious to everyone. You know, what you do, it has consequences to the artist. It's not only about them, you know. And honestly, like, I'm surprised because I don't get any cards of money or finances. So I wonder if they pay the artist. But I see them like very much like hiding behind their responsibilities and be like, oh yeah, no, we don't deal with this because we don't have time, I'm busy, you know, I'm just so fed up because I have so many things to do, so I cannot talk to you right now, we will talk later, we will talk next week, we will deal with this later. You know, there's this sense of pushing things to the side, you know, and avoiding that, yeah, we are not doing very well. How do you know when, for example, Sun is in Virgo? How do you know this one? Yes, it's in the deck. Sun in Virgo. It has the Sun here. It helps to think of the idols who make the company, along with creative and production teams versus operation who manage the funds. Yeah, these people need like a reality check because they are not being very smart. And also they are like getting themselves exhausted, and also with the health issue, you know, I think that literally it can talk about, you know, also the artists having health issues because the pressure is too much. So and also the level of denial is a lot. You know, it's like when you don't face that there are some things that need to be fixed, you know. Okay. I'm going to continue with Ateez, Yeosang, and the leader Hongjoong dynamic to see how they're doing, how they feel about each other. Actually, the reading is very positive. From Yeosang's perspective towards Hongjoong, he got the Emperor and 4 of Wands. So, from Yeosang's perspective towards Hongjoong, I think that definitely he does respect him as a leader because we got the Emperor. But also with the 4 of Wands, there's a lot of celebration. So at this moment, their connection actually is of a lot of mutual respect. Definitely he does see like Hongjoong as a sort of emperor, you know, as someone that is like it's not about him like being famous, but there's an aura around him, you know, especially now. There's an aura of like, okay, if I follow this guy, you know, this guy really is a leader. Like this guy represents definitely the person that is in control of what's going on. And also with the four of wands is like, okay, if I follow him and if I follow his guidelines, I will achieve success and we will celebrate and we will be winners. A lot of respect, a lot of respect, and also a lot of passion, you know, a lot of passion in the sense that probably, you know, he had a sort of deal with Hongjoong about now, where like he sort of like got like a conversation with Hongjoong, and Hongjoong was like, okay, if you follow me, like if you do what I tell you to do, like you are going to be successful. Like I'm going to make it happen for you. Like somehow like promising him. I don't know if it's giving him more lines or it's like, okay, I'm going to put you here. You know, and I think that's where the admiration comes from, but because I also can see like Yeosang being in the Emperor energy as well. You know, this is very Aries card. And let's remember that Yeosang is an Aries rising. So even though, yeah, he has this very, you know, mutable energy of Gemini, moon in Cancer, you know, very emotional, very like much in his interior, there's something about his relationship with Hongjoong right now, that Hongjoong is like putting him on the spotlight. It's like, okay, you want to shine, follow me, and put yourself out there. Like really, like own it. Like own it. Like be the emperor. Like show a more assertive side of yourself. Show that you really want it. And also be consistent on it. Because the emperor is like someone that has the power and they're not going to let it go. Somehow like you want to be in the spotlight, fight for it. Like and also like if it's about, you know, Hongjoong being a sort of role model for Yeosang, it's like watch me, watch how I do it, and you do it in your style. And I think that he tried to do it, and it definitely paid off. Because we have the four of wands, that is celebration. Ateez is celebrating. Ateez is in this moment where they are celebrating. Yeosang is celebrating. It's like, you know, seeing the results, seeing like, okay, I show my passion and everyone is celebrating me. And probably he's feeling very proud of himself because probably like he got a compliment from Hongjoong or Hongjoong. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. He probably got a good feedback, so he's feeling like very proud of himself. You know, he's like feeling like the emperor. You know, you gave me a good feedback, and I'm feeling good about myself. He's feeling very passionate, you know, definitely. From Hongjoong's perspective, he got the Three of Wands, also always looking ahead, and he got the card of the Temperance. So yeah, I think that honestly, like Hongjoong as the vision of the leader, he's always thinking ahead. He's always thinking about the next project. You know, he's like, okay, like, you know, his role is basically to be the creator, the one that creates opportunities for the others. You know, that's why he's a guy that you cannot interrupt his process while he's creating. When he's creating, yes, maybe he's not the most emotional, emotional member in the sense that he's not paying attention, you know, to your emotional needs. And, you know, that in this sense, we had been talking about this, about Yeosang being very, sensitive or being this very introverted person, but he had to connect with a more passionate and straightforward side to being seen and recognized by the leader. Because in this way, if you become passionate and straightforward and ready to create, Hongjoong is going to pay attention to you and is going to include you in his plans. But if you expect him to get out of here and go and just like pay full extra attention to you and your emotional needs and babysit you and be like, oh, do you want to come out and would you like? No, he's not. He's not going to be that sort of leader. He's not going to be like, oh, please tell me about how you're feeling today. No, he is creating. He's busy creating. So the way you can connect with him is to talk about work and to talk about, okay, like, what do you want? Like, talk to me. Like, what vision do you have? And they got the card of vision. So definitely this is about sharing a vision together. And in that way, they can also connect a bit more, like as teammates, And also here with the temperance, there's this sense of like also Hongjoong somehow also learning to, balance his relationship with Yeosang. Also healing some things that probably in the past he didn't see, or he wasn't paying attention. He definitely is acknowledging that while he is in this mode, sometimes situations and people just are not on his radar. And probably, yes, Yeosang needed to be on his radar. Probably Yeosang is needing to be seen, is needing from the leader to be more like, yes, please pay attention, I also want to contribute. But he's so busy in here thinking about the next step. Hongjoong has a sort of need to think ahead. He has to. He is on a rush, But now with the temperance, he's like, okay, like, I get it. I have to sort of like balance, I have to be a bit here and a bit there. I have to be, not so much on the creator mode, also in the human side, because definitely like probably Yeosang is not the only member that reaches out to him to be like, yeah, I have an idea, or I would want something else for me, like, what can you do for me, but sort of having these very more intimate conversations, talking about from the heart and not so much from like, oh yeah, because I'm sorry, you're so busy, I don't want to disturb you with my things, because especially for someone that is maybe a bit more sensitive of Yeosang is not going to directly ask you what he wants, or he's a bit more like, oh, I sort of hope that you notice that I need something, sort of like a telepathy thing. This is because his moon is in a water sign, so he's a bit sensitive. But yeah, with the card of Sun in Pisces, vision, they definitely have to keep working together, like keep sharing this vision that they have. They also have to connect with this more sensitive side. And, connect with their sensitive elements. Because I also see that Hongjoong, because of all his responsibilities, he's probably not connecting also with his emotional side. So, this Pisces placement, about vision is like, okay, you want to create, but you also have to connect with your sensitive side, because otherwise you are not going to connect. And you need to, in order to have a vision, it's not only about like, okay, what idea can I build? It's also what connections can I do better, can I be better? And also probably, Yeosang has like some information or some new ideas. He has visions that he wants to share. It's just that probably he needs to have this moment of a very sensitive connection for him to open up and share it. At the beginning he wasn't feeling very confident about sharing it. He's slowly coming out of the shell, slowly. And he's looking at all the things that he's gaining. Maybe he's gaining a lot of compliments, and he's like, wow, I feel so good about myself. But they could actually work better together because they have a vision. Yeah, I mean, it's just that he has a lot on his plate. Definitely, it seems like. Thank God I don't see, Hongjoong didn't get cards of him being that overwhelmed like he usually gets, the cards that he's very busy, that he's, no, with the temperance, it's like he's slowly also realizing that he doesn't have to push himself that far, that he needs to connect. He needs to connect with the members. He needs to heal certain way he says things or he communicates things to the members. He needs to connect with a more sensitive side towards them. He has to be a bit more flexible. Definitely, he's so focused on the goal and the way he had been doing things that he was like, oh, like I cracked the code. This is how it works for me. So he's so fixated of doing those things the way he always had been doing them, that he is missing a lot of important things about, yes, like you say, Samara, like there's a lot of things about communication, about, paying attention, being present. It seems like when you talk to him, he sees you, he hears you, he listens to you. But then, it seems like he is already like on the way. He's not there with you. It's just his body. It's just his presence. It's the physical side, but his mind is already on the future. Like, oh, I have to work on this and this and this and this. And he has that, that compulsive need to get things done, to get ahead with the task that he has on his list. Yeah, but he's not a mean person. No. Like, he doesn't do it on purpose. It's just that he has this, like, I believe he feels so responsible. And it's like, okay, if I don't push it right now, when we are in a good season, when will we do it? It's heavy to be him, because I don't think that it's like, he could delegate now, because I sense that there's a lot of people around him now, a lot more hands, a lot of more people available. But he's stuck in the past where they didn't have anyone to trust, and probably it was just him and another person working, but nothing else. So he's sort of like in this hermit mode of like, yeah, I'm used to doing things by myself or with someone that I casually hire, but I know I have to do it myself because the others don't know how to do it. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to be him. Yeah, definitely it's not easy. It's not easy being him. I'm going to pull cards for G-Idol, that someone was asking for G-Idol. Just a few cards. Hey Gabby, how are you? Oh my. Okay, G-Idol, they got, oh, sorry, my hands are cold. Prince of Wands, Prince of Swords, Five of Cups, the Hermit, and from Mercury in Taurus, Resistance, another Taurus placements. Remember that we were talking about the other Taurus placements that Pentagon got, and they also got this Taurus placement. So definitely like a group made of very stubborn people. Here with the Prince of Wands and the Prince of Swords, there's a lot of energy. Actually, they had been like creating and moving a lot for G-Idol. Definitely a lot of like activities, communication, like a very straightforward attitude also. Well, we know that they had been doing very well. But actually, I'm intrigued because are they on a hiatus? Or are they taking a break or something like that? Because they have the Five of Cups and the Hermit. So I'm like, what happened? Is there a member of hiatus? Did they lose something? Or maybe they just need a break. Maybe they just need a break. But honestly, they started very strong with the Prince of Wands, Prince of Swords. Definitely the members do have a very proactive attitude. You know, a bit of, I was going to say a bit of masculine energy, and then I remember their song, Tomboy. It does make sense, you know, because I sense a lot of proactive, like, attitude, sort of like, we don't need no men because actually we can do it ourselves. We are very smart. We are very capable of doing and creating and just, you know, moving. Like, they don't need, you know, someone to lift them up. They can do it themselves. But also with the Five of Cups, there's this sense of like, oh, I lost something. And then with the Hermit, it's like, I need to go back to myself. Not that we know, but recently finished the promotions for the comeback, so maybe they're taking a break for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, because they put a lot of energy. A lot of energy. Like a lot of, like, they... No, so yes, with the Hermit, they need to go back to themselves. They need to go back to themselves. But probably there's a member that, I don't know if this member went through a sort of breakup or is like in a sort of mourning process of not doing very well emotionally. Oh, why did I pull a card from this? But yeah, I think that also it has to do with the responsibility of always being the ones that make things move in their careers. You know, there's something about them. Like, actually, they are very, like, they feel very tired. They probably, you know, put on this very brave front, but when they are by themselves, they have a lot of regrets. You know, they are like, okay, I'm tired. It's like, for them, it's very exhausting to somehow pretend like, you know, we are they have to defend themselves all the time. Literally in their lyrics and also in their mannerism. There's this sense of I have to defend myself, like because you're going to attack me. And even I think that they defend themselves before the attack. With this Prince of Swords, I'm like, Yeah, but with the Three of Cups, it's like, okay, I have to stop because I want to appreciate what we accomplished together. They got the Three of Cups. So it's about celebration also. It's about celebration. Yes. Yeah. It's tiring for them because I don't know, with the Five of Cups, I don't know if maybe there are some people that just make fun of them or say something mean behind their backs or just don't take them seriously. Like there's something in there. And when they are by themselves, they know this, and this is why they get so frustrated and they are so tired. They're like, with everything that we've done, you still don't take us seriously, or you still, don't give us what we deserve. So there's a sense of like, I feel so empty. Like really, I wish I could gain more, but, like probably while they are working or while they are promoting themselves, they put up this brave front because they have to defend literally, like even with their bodies. So it must be tough in them. And also they have the card of Mercury in Taurus, resistance. So you see, it seems like, their experience is not easy, and they have been receiving attacks a lot. But with Mercury in Taurus, it's like, I'm not changing my speech. I said what I said. I sang, or I created this song, and I talk about what I wanted to talk. Like, you are not going to change my narrative or our concept or our lyrics. We are going to keep pushing it, and we are going to get there. Again, with this Taurus placement, it talks that probably for them it's going to take a while. Probably it had been always very slow in their careers. Probably they had to be very resilient and very resistant and very like, pushing until they got the opportunity. But this is about, maintaining their ground, holding their ground. It's like, okay, it feels heavy, but definitely they are not giving up. They will continue being who they are and talking about what they want to talk about. No one is going to rewrite their concept or rewrite their style, No, I'm talking about G-Idol. I feel like they have gone through a lot, and that also influences on the defense before the attack. Yeah. But also, from the card that I got, is like, because in this Prince of Swords and the Prince of Wands, I got this very masculine energy. So I was like, they sort of have to sort of behave like men in a very impulsive way to get the message across. It's like if they had a cute concept, they wouldn't have been listened to. There's something about, I don't know if maybe they start with the cute concept or with a very youthful, young concept when they started, very feminine, and all of a sudden now they're like, okay, you're not stopping us. We are definitely like, in every comeback or in every in every opportunity that we have, we are going to address you know, uncomfortable conversations in our lyrics, or our attitude is going to also be, you know, very much about the struggles that we go through. So, yeah, and they're very stubborn. They're very stubborn also in their speech. So, yeah, they're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. Like really, they will take a break, but I wonder if there's not, I don't know why I have a feeling that there's a member that is very sad, that is much recluded. There's a member that is very much, I don't know if there's a member that got a sort of backlash or an issue with someone, but there's one of them that is very much like hiding, like feeling very bad about herself. I don't know why. Johnny and Jaehyun, okay. And then I'm going to go, guys. Yeah, because you know it was very different, because I see the other prince, the other car of prince, very much active, you know, going out there, going, moving, doing a lot of things, and then I got this 5 of Cups, and I was like, who's crying? You know, who is like in this? I don't know, very like remorseful kind of feeling, you know, like, oh, I feel so sorry for myself, like, oh, you know. Oh. Yeah, like I sense that, yeah. It's like, I need time on my own. I need time on my own. Okay. Johnny and Jaehyun. Johnny got 3 cards. Yeah, it seems like it's something that comes from a long time. Yeah, not now. It's a sort of like condition that can. Okay, from Johnny perspective, we have Queen of Disc, Queen of Cups, the Chariot. How he sees Jaehyun. He sees Jaehyun as someone very stable, someone very like, he got 2 queens, so definitely he sees Jaehyun as someone that basically is very well connected with his feminine side, you know, although very stubborn. That Jaehyun reminds him of Venusian things, you know, of someone that is very luxurious, someone that is very like, but also that is very good with connecting with his feminine side, and feeling probably that he's very good with women because there's all these queens in here. So it's like from Johnny's perspective, it's like, okay, what I admire from Jaehyun is how lucky he is with the ladies, you know, like how, but not in the way of like he has, like he's lucky with women or in the love department. It's more about how he's able to understand the female perspective. Probably Jaehyun is a very good conversationalist. You know, is very good at talking to women, or he's a mix of a very sensitive guy and also very gentleman. So he has this feminine side of him, like very feminine. Like that's what he sees, and he definitely sees that, and he admires that. He admires how he has this ability of being very smooth, very smooth and also very successful. Because he had two queens. He had the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. So there's this sense of like, wow, you always get what you want with your Venusian side. Yeah, and also with the Chariot. Jaehyun, accordingly to Johnny's perspective, Jaehyun is always moving forward. He's always moving forward. He's taking his time. He's enjoying the view. He's not being aggressive, but he always has a sort of purpose. He's always going somewhere. He's always like moving slow. And honestly, with all these queens in here, I see that probably Johnny is like, okay, if Jaehyun was a female, I would date Jaehyun. Or Jaehyun is my type. Sort of like being like, I like Jaehyun's. If Jaehyun was like a female, he would be my type. Sort of like admiration, because he has a lot of queens. So definitely he is a sort of admiration and a sort of like attraction at the same time. And this is not to say like sexual attraction from Johnny to Jaehyun, not like that. But there's this very honest point of view of like, I find him very like, very beautiful. Like he's beautiful. Like I don't know if maybe if you observe, maybe if you watched a video or somewhere like about their interaction, but there's something about Johnny that Johnny is very straightforward about Jaehyun like being beautiful. Being beautiful and being very attractive. And him being like very mesmerized by that. It's like, I see it, like I see why people are attracted to you. Yeah, I'm attracted to you. Like really, like it's very nice. But it's a mix of like, I wish I was you. I wish I had that appeal. I wish I was able to be this sensitive. Oh Lord, here comes the shippers. No, do they have shippers? I don't know. The guy looks good even in potatoes. Like, yeah, but is Jaehyun's also attitude? I think that also is how he transits life. He's so chill. It's like when he sees the opportunity, he takes it. He doesn't force anything. But he's just a guy that he knows where he's going. He's not lost at all. But at the same time, if he sees someone that is lost, or if you go to him to ask him for an advice, you would be very much surprised at the level of humanity that Jaehyun has. It's like he can be materialistic from one side, but then he can be so sensitive and so empathic with not with female, but also with the strangers and with people that he doesn't know. And maybe he just like says something that it just moves you. He's like, he has that potential. Maybe he was a female in a previous life. What do you mean when you say two masculine attractive men who are damn near the same height, they got shippers? Huh? They got shippers or what? I don't understand. Somebody, I'm reading and I don't understand. Then from Jaehyun's perspective towards Johnny, he had the Prince of Swords. Yeah, they're more like brothers. Yes, but definitely, because of these queens, I get that Johnny is admires so much he doesn't see Jaehyun as this detached person. Because of maybe how close they are, he comes to know this very sensitive and also very beautiful. But also he loves that that Jaehyun always gets what he wants. And he just sits and waits. You know, there's something about him being very stable. It's like, okay, I'm going to wait here and wait for, you know. But yeah, from Jaehyun's perspective towards Johnny, he got the Princess of Swords and the Moon card. So it does make sense because I believe that probably Johnny is not in his best mood right now. So if he got the Moon, it does make sense. And also with the Princess of Swords, he probably is ranting a lot about how he's not happy, he's very moody, you know, he's very much upset, he's not in a good mood, he's a bit lost, you know. But from Jaehyun's perspective towards Johnny, he definitely sees Johnny as the communicator. You know, with the Princess of Swords is someone that if he has something to say, he will say it. And he will not care about the consequences. You know, he probably sees Johnny as someone that is very straightforward with words, and if he has to cut you, he will cut you. But also he understands Johnny. Like he's actually Jaehyun is very smart because he's like, yeah, I can hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you keep talking to me. Like, you know, their communication is very fluent. Probably Jaehyun is the one that always listens, and Johnny is the one that always talks. And behind what he says, there's the Moon card. So from Jaehyun's perspective, he can see that sometimes Johnny doesn't that sometimes Johnny maybe hides behind what he says. You know, that probably there's a bit of sadness or there's a bit of loneliness, a bit of, you know, because for someone so verboratic or for someone that is very much like good with words, it seems like Jaehyun is able to see that Johnny hides behind words, you know, and that there's a whole world of sometimes not knowing who he is, being a bit lost in this process of getting to know himself, and probably hiding a lot of his vulnerability between just having conversations. You know, like it seems like his best attack is to have talks, you know, to talk, and but not connecting that much. And definitely from Jaehyun's perspective, there's this sense of like, yeah, I know you're hiding something. You know, and also probably from Jaehyun's perspective, there's this sense of like, I don't really know Johnny. Like, even though we had been buddies and we had been going out for a while, if I'm honest, I don't know Johnny. Johnny is a mystery. There's a lot of things that are not what they seem, you know. So from Jaehyun's perspective, it's like, yes, I'm a sort of confident. Yes, we talk. He talks to me a lot, you know. But yeah. Probably for Jaehyun, it's like, you're hiding something in there, you know, like very straightforward, like saying like, really, if you ask me, like, what do you think about Johnny? Like, yeah, Johnny talks a lot. like, you know, yeah, we talk a lot, and usually Johnny is the one that initiates the conversation, because if you see if you see like Jaehyun's energy from Johnny's perspective, Jaehyun is all busy being his glamorous, beautiful self, you know, and probably talking to some woman, because there's a lot of woman energy here, some feminine energy. So probably, you know, there's something about Jaehyun actually getting along more with females than with males. You know, there's something about that. But from Jaehyun's perspective, it's like, yeah, Johnny talks to me a lot. He texts me a lot, or he sends me a lot of text, or he comes over and we talk. But all I can hear is him talking, and I'm like, And also, this could also represent that probably Jaehyun also doesn't allow Johnny to see who he is as well. That both of them can be the moon to each other. Probably Jaehyun is also someone that, he doesn't say, like he doesn't show himself that much, because he's busy going somewhere. like, it seems like for Jaehyun, it's all about results. He's a moon in Taurus, so it does make sense that probably he's thinking about material things, and he's doing very well, honestly. Like, Jaehyun is moving places. Jaehyun is getting the job done, being his glamorous self. But in the case of Johnny, it's very different, because Johnny probably has a lot of frustration. And I think that we also have to get on Johnny's side and think that maybe from Johnny's perspective, people don't listen to him or don't take him seriously. So this is why Johnny sometimes talks too much or says too much or comes off as he is in the defensive, because actually no one listens to him. And in this, I'm not talking about NCT members. I'm talking about his life in general. It seems like their experience is very different, because if you see here, with these queens here, definitely Jaehyun's perspective is that he's very much appreciated and loved, and he's very stable, and he knows he's going to get somewhere with the attributes that he has. But from Johnny's experience is like he's a bit much lost. At least now, he's a bit much on the dark. He's not seeing the opportunities. And probably by talking and ranting a lot with this sword, he's also trying to lift up the veil of hypocrisy, of lies and deceitments, and he's trying to find some clarity to this. And he's trying to, seek the truth. Because probably he was deceived in the past. This is why he's on the dark. So we should also be very considerate from Johnny's perspective, because I sense that if he says too much, it's because he's the sort of nervous person that he says too much, he defends, he attacks before, because people don't listen to him. They don't take him seriously, and he has some things to say. And he cannot just stay silent and be pretty. He has to say something, he has to provoke a conversation, and from this duo, they got the card of Moon in Aries, protection. So definitely they protect each other. They are friends. They are friends. They protect each other. There's a friendship in there. They are protective of each other. And actually, if we think about the moon and we have the baby. This is the baby card. The baby, don't baby your idol. The baby card. So probably for them, they are like babies when they are together. They sort of can be goofy and just childish around each other, and they get it, and they protect each other. They don't talk bad about each other. They don't criticize each other. Even though they are very different, there's no competition between these two members. There's no competition. Not at all. Jaehyun trying to be the Romeo. Always chasing women. No, actually, I don't think he chases women. I think he attracts women. That is very different. He attracts them. I don't see him being that active, of going. No, I think that he just attracts women. Yeah, this was fun, super interesting. Yeah, I actually do like it. Like I get good vibes of these two, You know, that's why when sometimes when we see, that's why I like the tarot. You know, because sometimes when we see certain videos and pictures and interactions that probably are scripted, when I pull cards, sometimes I don't see real connections and maybe there's some friction here and there. But honestly, between these two, there's a lot of clarity. They definitely like acknowledge each other's experience. They don't see each other as, oh yeah, we're part of the same group. No, they know about each other's experience. They see each other for who they are. Yeah, the other way. He grew he he grew up each summer in Busan with his two girls' cousin. Oh, yeah, yeah. He's used to the feminine energy. Yes, he's very good. He's very good at it. He's very sensitive. He's very good at it. But you know, he also can be masculine. I mean, like he has that Aquarius vibe. You know, That's why you know I don't want to say like he has that androgynous kind of side. He more than Johnny. Johnny is a bit more cold. You know, Johnny is a bit more like assertive and probably like he puts boundary between him and people. But for Jaehyun is more like, yeah, like, you know, he thinks in terms of energy, and that's why he got the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. You know, but the important thing is that Johnny sees it. So, you know, when Johnny cares about someone, he sees that person. Like, he's able to show me, like, who is Jaehyun accordingly to you? And he shows it. So he definitely cares for Jaehyun. Like, he spent time with Jaehyun, you know, to give me this sort of feedback. And from Jaehyun's perspective, he also showed me Johnny. So, you know, they are not ignorant of each other's, like, characters. You know, they definitely have a bond. Yeah, Aquarius are the dynamic. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like Jaehyun is thinking about our results. He's thinking about like, oh yeah, I have to do this and this. It's just that it seems like you know, things flow for Jaehyun. It's very different than from Johnny. Johnny has some insecurities. Probably he had been raised in an environment where there was a lot of like discussions or a lot of people trying to boss him around and tell him that he's not good enough or that he should be better, like comparing him to others, you know, like, oh, you should be better like this. Or like, for example, if he accomplished something, I don't know, someone like talking down on him or belittling his efforts, you know, like, oh yeah, you're famous, but you're not as famous as the other one. You know, so definitely Johnny has like, that's why he hides himself, you know, because there's a part of him that is very wounded, you know, probably someone had been very criticizing of him, you know, or he didn't get the emotional support that he needed, you know, but yeah, he will have to get it from an external, like, relationship, you know, either a romantic relationship or a very good friend, you know, to somehow feel like he's like worthy of love and acceptance, you know. Johnny's mom is a super CEO in Chicago and he's the only child. Yeah, but I noticed Johnny, I watch videos of Johnny's mom and she's so fixated on Taeyong. Like, if you see her, like, the way she greets Taeyong, like, she greets all NCT members with such a love, and with Johnny, it's like, oh, yeah, here you are. You know, like, I would be, you know, I'm an only child, and I remember she's weird, yeah, she's weird. Like, the few videos that I saw of her, she has this fixation she goes crazy for Taeyong. I don't know if it's because he's the leader, so maybe for them, he's like, the most important, like the one that deserves all the adoration. But it seems like Jaehyun is her child. Like, and honestly, I've seen also Johnny's like face when this happened. He was in the middle, and I, me as an only child, I remember my mom once, like I had this Gemini cousin that she was also a lonely child, so we would go over there to their house, and I would play with her, and I remember my mom one day she made this comment of like, oh, I wish you were like more like her, because she's always like so smiley, champagne, so like smiling and always very nice, and laughing at my mom's joke, because my mom used to make jokes, and like this cousin of mine, she was very bubbly, very like extrovert, like, and they had this sort of dynamic, and I mean, I'm not a serious person. Like when I was a child, I also had sense of humor, but when you don't laugh at your mom's jokes, when you're used to them, like, and also she's my mom, so, so, but she was like, oh, I wish you had more of her character. And I remember I told her, I was very young, but I told her, like, I was like, what you're saying is not very nice. You shouldn't compare me to her. I'm a different person. Usually the parents that do this, that they think that they are funny or witty when they compare you to someone else or to someone else's child. When you are their child, it's so like, it's so offensive. Like I felt so offense, and I know that my mom loved me and my dad as well. Of course, I'm their child. But that comment definitely, like it, like until this day, I remember it. The Shalala guy, please. Yeah, please, let's not talk about. Oh my, can we move on from? Oh my, it's everywhere. I used to clear of cancer. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay, guys, I have to go. We have been here for 2 hours and a half. Yeah. Yeah, Taemin is an exception because he's a double cancer. But yeah, he is also yeah. Yeah, I'm still upset that Ten didn't get a solo, yeah. Yeah. But oh well. Oh well. SM situations. We will get there. We will get it, Parvati. Eventually we will get it. We just have to be patient. We will get it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. So, yeah. Probably if in Monday, I will see. If Monday, because Monday is holiday, and I believe that Tuesday is also a holiday here. I see if I have like, if I have free time, I'll maybe connect again. I will let you know. We will talk about it. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. We will see each other. Yeah, I will keep posting. Thank you. Have a great day.